Hello, hello, everyone. We'll be starting in another 5 minutes. Just stand by, get some more people coming on board. And we'll get started promptly. Welcome to the Boston REIA monthly educational meeting. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Duncan, how are you? I'm well. Where in
Good,
the
thank
world
you.
are you?
Good. I've just made you a co-host.
Yes, I almost mentioned that.
Beat you to it this one.
Yes,
Um, so we will kick off shortly. I am recording.
sounds good.
I'm just going to put myself on mute for a few minutes.
Duncan, for some reason my video isn't showing this time. Uh-oh, start video. Okay, I got it. Hi, Miss Sarah. Good to see you, sweetie.
Hi, Miss Kelly. Happy August. It
I know, right? August already.
has been like 90 degrees in Gloucester. Approached 90, like 89 at the
Today,
peak. Yeah,
today
it was
got to be
really hot.
95, although, down in South Carolina, it's so
Yeah.
I gave myself a daisy for August.
Yes, I see it.
I think it might bother me after a while.
Imagine how it is more towards like Metro West area or Boston where there is no the breeze from the ocean at least 10 degrees
Right.
more. So it's gotta be like low 100. I mean,
It's
100,
crazy. We
something like
were
that.
on the heat index warning all day today for like 12 hours and 95 degrees. I was watering my plants last night in like at 10 o'clock at night because it
Yeah.
was too hot otherwise to go outside. So yeah, but Hannah will be 26. She's logging on shortly and she'll be 26 in a few weeks. I can't believe it.
Oh my God.
26, Duncan. Hannah, 26.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Yeah, the 25th is when she turns. Her golden birthday was you know, last year. So, but I can't believe she's almost 26. I just got off the phone with her. I don't know what my hair is doing. That overhead light is so,
I love
uh,
your glasses. Why don't you just get a ring or something? Is that what you have right now?
the what?
The ring, the light ring?
Yeah, I know. I should because that one, I was looking at filters and trying to figure out, um, it just
Like
looks so,
that.
choose a, yes, that's why you always look so lovely. That's why you're always glowing. Oh, I don't know if
Just
boost is any
super
better. No, that's
crazy.
even worse. Um, I guess I could just turn it down, turn the light down.
All right. We're gonna kick off, even though we have just a few people on us right now, but we usually see more coming on about 7:30. So let's just start off and just go through the few announcements we do have before we get to our main event. If either one of you could just admit members as they pop up at top would be appreciated.
Yep.
Sure thing.
All right. And you can see my screen just fine.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome everybody to our August general meeting. It's wow, this year is flying by and we want to get back on track after July. We took July off. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. So for all our members who are back with us, welcome. And also, if you're a first timer or just even a guest, thanks for being back. You're going to learn a lot of information today. And we just want to say that a liability disclosure before we start, because you're going to hear a lot of stuff today, but Boston REIA assumes no liability or responsibility for the outcome of any real estate transaction, decision, or any other action that any Boston REIA member or visitors enter into as a result of attending any meeting, listening to any guest speaker, or talking to any other Boston REIA members, guests, visitors, or persons. We're all grown-ups and we should do our own due diligence for everything we do within real estate, as we should do in life. So with that being said, let's get on to the fun stuff. If you don't know us, we are the most active real estate investing community in New England. We have a lot of deal flow going through our system. We have a networking center. We always try to provide you with the best in education and be a resource that investors can come to find out the best information, the best vendors, what have you, so you can become not only a more proficient real estate investor, but deal with credible sources. We are part of the National Real Estate Investors Association, or what is called a REIA, National REIA, which is the largest trade association of real estate investors in the United States of America. So we have over 1 million members, and because of that, we have some very, very good partnerships with organizations such as the Home Depot, Office Depot, Rent Perfect, Real Protect. And because of those relationships, you get discounts and/or cash back. So you'll find out more of that during the course of the meeting, but there are definite benefits by being a member of the Boston REIA. You'll notice down at the bottom of your screen a little chat, and this is where if you have a question, or if you have something that you want to present to the group, you want something, need something, please tell us what it is in the chat box. This is how we do our online networking. So the benefits of coming on during this live session is that you get this information and only you. We do not send this out after the meeting with the recording. So just rules that if you're going to be using the chat box to network is that your request must be specific and they must include your telephone or email address. You know, that's helpful in people getting hold of you, especially if you want or need something. So please use that chat box to network our members at the end of the session. We will remind you to copy and paste that into your own notebook pad somewhere so you can save that information for yourself and peruse it later on. All right. With that being said, Sarah, who is our investor-friendly realtor, she's just going to give you a little update of what's going on in Boston in the market update. And I'm going to hand over control to her. Sarah, you have control.
Good. Yes,
I'll
thank
stop
you.
my share and I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. So quick market update. We do this just monthly. I like to take a look at the market and what's happening with the interest, what's happening with the homes. So that market update is a daily thing here, while the following slide is a weekly thing. So the interest for just based on today, so we have been seeing that interest rates were going down, which is a fantastic thing to see. So today was at 667 for 30 years. Total homes available today. And this number here for the available homes in Middlesex, Essex, and Suffolk counties. And that's for single condominium and multifamily properties. I like to look at this numbers versus last year. So we're about like 23-25% more inventory than last year. And when we look at the average homes, average days on the market, for the homes to sell is also down. It's so more homes and less time on the market, which is a great sign to see 66 days versus 73 days. The contingent and under agreement, this is basically only for this no, actually this also for single family homes, condo and multi. The price changes is only on the single, and the back on the market is only for the single properties. So 61, this is literally like 1% of the what we have available, and those were already like overpriced to begin with, and then the back on the market is like really, really low comparing to how many homes that we have available. And this is really, really something that I like to look at. So let me just note this one second. Yeah. Mortgage rates. So this is Sam Khater, the chief economist of Freddie Mac. He read this or he wrote this. This is something that gets done on a weekly basis, that we look on the 30-year fixed on rate on the weekly. So the average rate for this week was 6.73. So it was going down. And that's exactly what Sam is saying. Mortgage rates dipped to lowest level since February. Mortgage rates declined to their lowest level since early February. Expectations of Fed rate cut coupled with signs of cooling inflation bode well for the market. But apprehension in consumer confidence may prevent any immediate uptick as affordability challenges remain top of mind. Despite this, a recent moderation in home price growth and increases in housing inventory are a welcoming sign for potential home buyers. This cannot be more accurate. That's what we're seeing right now. A lot of people are actually getting encouraged to get pre-approved and to actually go out and start shopping and try and make offers and with the hopes of locking something in. That's it, unless you have any questions for me, Duncan.
Yeah, sure. So we see the days on market decreasing, but we do have a 25% increase of properties on the market. Do you see that number still as healthy with 33,000 or 3,300 versus the 2,600 or?
You're saying the total. So yes, definitely we are seeing more inventory, and this is helping the crazy overbidding. In certain situations, I can actually negotiate the price down, or don't have to go crazy at, over the asking price, or like there is definitely things are a lot better right now representing the buyer. Buyers have options right now.
Okay, so are you saying it's turning now into a buyer's market versus a seller's market?
No, no, not that much, but no, not that much, not even close. But I
Okay,
mean, like, there are situations like the homes that, like, let's say have sat on the market due to like mispricing. Um, you know, I feel like buyers have options. Like you could, like for example, I have buyers right now. They're not approved for much, but I'm able to give them like 5 homes that we can go and see, and they are really nice homes. And I know that I can probably negotiate and get it down for them. Someone in that price range, probably maybe, I don't know, even a year ago, would have been in a bad situation. So so I think maybe the greedy ones are not the greedy sellers are just like, getting the homes in the right price. And I
mhm,
think with everything, like even the Feds in the meeting yesterday, they said that they will lower the interest most likely in September in their next meeting, which is coming in September. So a lot of people like they're like, okay, well, let me hold off a little bit until interest rates go down. But this is not really a good strategy, because when interest rates go down, prices go up. So you get both people thinking that way. The ones that are like, okay, well, let me just go in and before the competition and things get worse, and then I can refinance after. And you have the other crowd that say, okay, well, let me just wait, let me see what's happening in the market. But definitely more that 25% increase in the inventory is helping the market.
Awesome. So before we lose you on this topic, can you just tell them about what you do and how you negotiate for people and you work with new investors?
Yes. So I work with investors on buying and on selling. We look on the market. I can run them comps, ARV numbers, all the numbers that that they want. We do that. I'm not afraid of like making. I don't say a lowball offer, but I mean it's all in the numbers. So the numbers basically speak for themselves. So it's not really hard to when everything with all the numbers just make sense, you just make the offer. And if it got accepted, great. If not, we move on to the next one.
Awesome.
That's
Great,
it. And
Sarah.
after it's ready, the property, if it's a flip property, after it's ready, market it heavily, present it on its best. So we can get the most money for it. If it's gonna be renovate and hold, to rent, we rent it also at the highest, rent possible. Try to maximize the outcome, basically.
Okay, I have a special request.
Go for it.
And that's from Marco, who is our speaker tonight. He said, please have her stay. So I'm going to, I think he can unmute himself since he's a co-host if he wants to say anything.
Sorry,
If you mind.
I have actually, I've been mid-event as well. I have an event going on at the same time. So, and we don't finish till 10 tonight. So I'm stepping out for a second. Sarah, you're on the ground, you have buyers and you're dealing with people that aren't qualified. And I'm going to really, hopefully help you sandwich yourself into some transactions as an agent to basically have your buyers step into a mortgage that's cheaper than the bank without having to qualify with less down.
That's excellent. I think that that will have my phone keep ringing.
Exactly.
And
So
wouldn't get off the hook.
and there's very specific things and challenges that that I say agents are having, but I from an honest perspective, I just want to ask you some questions and confirm or not confirm what you're faced with, because a lot of agents are starving to death right now because rates were so high, and half point it's still fairly high compared to what it was, in 2020, 21, 22. So it really did slow down the market. And if you were active when rates were at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4%, it was like shooting fish in the barrel. You were getting $15,000-$20,000 checks, probably commission after commission after commission. And that's not the same environment now. And it's very frustrating for agents that love being agents. And I want to bring those days back for you as an agent, if you want.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd love to make you some money.
It sounds good. Yeah. I'd love to make some money too. Sounds good. We have the same goal.
Yeah, by helping people. You're wanting to help your sellers, you want to help your buyers, and if everyone helps each other, it's fantastic.
100%. Yep.
Awesome. Well, if you want to get hold of Sarah, her number's up there on the screen, along with her email address, and I really encourage you to put her on your Rolodex. For those people who know what a Rolodex is still, or put her into your customer management system. And call her up. She won't bite you, and see what she can do for you to make some magic happen. So again, Sarah,
and I can put my info in the chat as well. I can put my website there too.
Awesome.
I'm going to put that in my Palm. I'm going to put that in my Palm Pilot right now, Duncan.
Okay.
Excellent.
Palm Pilot.
And
Man,
Duncan, if I can also add just nationwide that mortgage rates fall to a 5-month low as Freddie Mac signals possible September cut. So I thought that would be something that everybody would be jazzed about to finally hear. Hey, the rates are finally going down for all those prospective buyers out there.
Yep. All right, so that's good. Let's continue moving on. Awesome. Just giving my buttons back here. Okay. I do want to say that we have, as our REIA, a lot of local business partners that provide money for you from all across the board, all different strategies. So commercial credit, business credit, transactional funding, private money funding, fix and flip funding, uh, proof of funds for transactional funding. So when you're a member of our REIA, you get access to these people on special rates. So when you're doing deals, you know, if you know money's not an issue, there's really nothing to fear. So, you know, Marco's going to be talking about doing a lot of deals with no money tonight. And if you come across deals that need money, the money is there within our organization and our network. So I just want to bring that out there. And you know, these are guys that are willing to talk to you. They don't bite again. You know, you gotta start opening your mouth and telling people what you need and want, and you know, figure out the how. So for those people who like in our in-person networking down on the South Shore, we have a group that meets the first Monday of the month from 6 p.m. at the Stellwagen Beer Company. Also educational, but also has some fun, drinking some beers, maybe rolling some cigars, you know, maybe listening to some music at the same time. So this is sort of like a fun educational event the first Monday of the month that gives you a chance to network. So we invite you to come on down to that.
It's very fun. If I can add, it's very, very fun. Great group of people, and the drive isn't bad down from Boston at all. Yeah, it's a
Awesome.
good time. It's a good time. Lots of info.
Okay, so for my next person up, I want to tell you about Life and Heirs is an incredible benefit that we also provide to you, and I want you to hear it right from Jason herself talk about Life and Heir. I gave you co-host there? Is there anything you want to share? Or you just want to talk about Life and Heir program, Jason?
Yeah, I was just going to tell everybody about it and hopefully show you guys why this is such an incredible benefit that Duncan has arranged for you guys to get. And so, as you know, listen, first of all, I got to say, you know, I have a chance of speaking with groups all over the country, and Duncan is second to none. Here's a guy who has the expertise, the experience, the heart for helping people, for teaching people the ins and outs of real estate so that you guys can have the life and business you want. And that's actually why we've partnered, because we are so aligned with our goals that we realize we have pooled resources that together we could give all of the members of Boston REIA something very, very special to make sure that you have every piece of machinery, every tool, everything in your arsenal for success. And what that means is, as part of Boston REIA, you get, and you maybe you've seen some emails on this already. If you haven't, then shoot me an email. My email is just jasonwojo@lifeinair.com. I'll put it in the chat, but you should have seen some emails already. And what this essentially means is, you now, as a Boston REIA member, get to come to our business builder workshop and our Get a Life Getaway completely free. Now, if you go to lifeinair.com right now, this is a $1,000 event, and we have people pay that ticket price all the time. And I'll also say, for the people that actually buy the tickets, that is 100% guaranteed. We'll tell people, hey, listen, come to the event. Come spend the entire time with us. And if it's not the best money you've ever spent, and I mean the best money you've ever spent on improving your life or your business, then we will refund every single penny. We've been doing these since 2008. We've never had a single person ask for their money back from over 10,000 attendees. And you guys get this for free. Like, it's free. Now, because it's free, I want to make sure that you don't just, it's free. Like, you know how it is, like sometimes you don't appreciate what you get for free. And so, by the way, if you want to pay $1,000, you can. I will not fight you on that. But if you want to get it for free, I'm going to put the link in the chat right now to make sure. Now, if you're already enrolled in this, if you're already a member, you should have gotten emails already, but just in case you missed it, I'm going to put the link in the chat. And this is for members only to register to get your Life and Your benefits. Now, why should you come to these events? And by the way, let me say, we do have some upcoming events. We have a Get a Life Getaway actually in Raleigh, North Carolina. Next week, we have another event in Orlando in November. We're in Milwaukee in October. I'll put the link in the chat as to where you can see the schedule. So this is how it works. Like, we all got into business to have the life we want. If you think about it, we were all hoping that business would give us freedom, with our time, with our money. It would provide for the support, the life we want to live. We could work as much as we want. We could have a great life, kind of take vacations when we want, late lunches, maybe date night with a spouse, and life would be great. And it can, but I'll tell you, the way I see most people run their business, they end up running themselves into the ground, and they end up burning out, and they end up just really struggling because of a few things. Number one is they don't really have the right blueprint for how to set up their business and how to run it without them being at the center of that. And they're the center of the wheel, and all the spokes are running off of them. And that's a problem if you want to take time off, or if God forbid you can't work. Like, the last thing you want to do is worry about putting food on the table for your family if disaster strikes. And so the Business Builder Workshop is where we teach you the life and your way of doing business, which basically means, hey, you're putting in a part-time effort for full-time income. We unpack everything from leadership to team building to automation to sales to marketing. We had a woman attend last year, actually it's the spring, in Denver, and she said that she learned more with the time with us over 3 days than she had in 2 years of her MBA. So we pour into you tactical, strategic, real life principles that you can do in your business to really make this run without you. The second event is the Get a Life Getaway. Now, this is important because, believe it or not, most people don't achieve what they want in life because they don't really know what that looks like. And so the Get a Life Getaway is designed to really help you craft and refine your personal vision for what you want to actually achieve, what you want to live, how much money you need to make, how much time you have available for work. Because when you have this incredible tool in your arsenal, in your pocket, now you understand how to set up your business. So, for instance, if you decide you want to work 20 hours a week and make 100 grand a year, which is fairly typical. I see that those numbers pop up over and over again. It's kind of a good one. Well, you got to know how to set up your business to do that, right? And so it's important that you have a vision, and that's actually what we call it, for that perfect life, for that ideal life, so that now you can make sure you're accomplishing those things and you're moving towards that target. So these two events, one in the Get a Life Getaway and the Business Builder Workshop, are really that 1-2, the yin and yang, the 1-2 punch combo for the life and the business you would love. And so we do these all over the country. We do them virtually. We do them in person. My personal preference is to really encourage you. Listen, I know it's so convenient. I mean, we're here on Zoom, right? And it is convenient and it's awesome. We can dial in from the convenience of our own home or office, or some of us are in our cars. But there's nothing that replaces that in-person connection if you can make it. If you can't, totally cool. The Zooms are awesome too. And so again, that's free for you as a REIA member. And also you get some surprise benefits that you'll have your own member dashboard on the website. We have some surprise goodies in there for you too. I like to keep surprises. That's for you. So I'll put those links in the chat, and I'll put my email as well. If you ever have any questions about it, let us know. But my encouragement to you is to really seize these benefits, because the stories of people that have attended, who have moved forward with this, are nothing short than incredible. And I know that you guys can do the exact same thing. And I'm just happy, honored, and privileged to walk alongside you in this journey that we're all pursuing here. So thanks for the time, guys.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you coming on board, guys. Life and Air, Jason Wujo. He'll have put his information in the chat for you. All right, so let me just get back to my screen here. Share screen. There you go. Give me a sec. I need to make it large again. All right, here we go. All right. So just really quickly, we have Home Depot benefits. I want to talk about becoming a member of the Boston REIA. One of our biggest benefits is Home Depot, where you get preferred pricing. This can be up to an additional 15% off, plus you get 2% cash back on all your purchases. And we do this twice a year, so you can definitely save money and make money with Home Depot. So it's one of our many benefits. A lot of people just join up for that, but we have these national vendors that also give us huge discounts, from Office Depot, Build-A-Sign, Rent Perfect, and their management system of tenants, local market monitor. So this really breaks down to the neighborhood. Is this a good investment or not? Our lead generation system, actually gives you leads to call, to mail, etc. So we got a lot of great things in store for you once you become a member that you can, like I say, save money and make some money. And if you're serious about real estate investing, you should join a real estate investing association and let us help make you money. If the yearly membership, if you want full membership benefits, is $320 a year for a single. It's $450 for couple. If you just want to join to get the Home Depot benefits alone, because that's huge money you can get on savings and discount, you can get our internet membership for only $140. So if you're interested in joining, you can join online, or you can text Kelly at 864-906-4111. And she'll get you taken care of and signed up. And you'll probably hear from Sarah too, just to make sure you've put your code in the right place. Actually, I'm going to hand the, for our members, before Marco starts, just take 2 minutes and let Sarah come back on board. If you're a member and have not set up your Home Depot account, Sarah, could you just come back and just go through those slides just to make sure you got it all set up correctly? And again, this is for members. So what she's showing you is what a member would do. If you try and do it without being a member, Home Depot is going to catch it out and say no. But she's going to walk you through the process of just making sure you're 100% set up with Home Depot to get the preferred pricing and cash back.
Absolutely. I think you're just talking about the screenshots that I sent you a couple of days ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, so it's very, very simple to do the Home Depot. We do it directly from their website, and it takes like under 10 minutes, really. It's very simple process, but I can share my screen. I kind of have them, let me just give me 1 second. I'll quickly put them here. If you do have an account, you really, really need to be a member in order for this to work, because basically Home Depot would match the information that you entered with what we have in Boston REIA. So really, really everything has to match. And I almost have it here ready. So, okay. Okay, so let me just share my screen very quick. Okay. All right, so I just had to do this quickly. I'm not sure. Can you see my screen, Duncan?
Yes, I
I
can.
can see it.
Okay, so basically once you enter in your account, there should be like a Pro Extra. It should show your name. It's a drop-down menu, just press on it, and then it's gonna show you options. If you click on any of those, really, it should bring you to where I want you to be. But just for the sake of the screenshots, I thought it would be best if I go with the cards and accounts, because I also wanted to show you something else there. So once you go, oh, I actually switched the slides. So once you go to cards and accounts, right? It's gonna show you with the big bold some titles. You want to look for the Pro Extra program. You look for the pricing benefits. And here is really, Home Depot really gives you several options to register a payment method. So you can add a credit card, a checking account, a PayPal, and that would be the payment method that you would use at the checkout to get your rewards. And then you click whatever option of these 6 options and then add credit, and then you go from there. The other thing that I also wanted to show you is the REIA code. So you go again to pricing benefit, and then you scroll down all the way. This normally should be like an orange thing. You click on it, and then it will say enter agreement code, which is the REIA here. You just enter it, and then you click enroll, and then it takes it in immediately. And the best thing is that you started the gold tier immediately. Few years ago, That used to be done manually, and that would have taken like 48 hours to get your account escalated to the gold tier folder for the paint. But now it's done immediately. You can just do it and then go shop for paint. If it's complicated, I normally give you a call, set you up, and it takes like under 10 minutes. It's very simple and quick. We do it directly from the Home Depot website.
And just to clarify, the link that they would go to if they wanted to set themselves up would be homedepot.com/pro extra, correct?
Pro Extra. If they just go to homedepot.com, there will be a search bar. They can just type Pro Extra in there, and then it should show them like 3 options. Login or join or look rewards or something like that. So just join. Click join. Unless you have an existing account, then you want to log in and then go from there. That's only and only if your information with the Pro Extra is what you use to sign with the Boston REIA. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sarah. So again, becoming a member of the Boston REIA to get your Home Depot benefits pays for itself 5 times over, because between the savings you would get the preferred pricing when you want to buy something, and that is not published, that you would get a special price from their pro desk, and then the cash back. Those rewards are huge. So like I said, people join just to get that preferred pricing, and that is because we are part of the national REIA, part of 1 million real estate investors across the country. So our buying power is huge. So we can do that for you. So, we said, if you want to become a member, we have, just for Home Depot, it's $140 a year. If not, if you want to have the full membership with all the goodies and all that, you have a couple other options, and you can text Kelly to get you sorted out from that, or you can sign up online. Did I show you that screen? I don't think I did. Let me go back to share. Press share. There we go. Share. There we go. So there's the number to call if you want to become a member. So really, without any further ado, I'm going to bring on our educational speaker for tonight, Marco Kozlowski. I've known Marco since 2005, way back when. I met him, and I was actually new to the industry. I didn't really know much at all. And I was amazed at what this guy was doing way back at that time. And he had a program that he was just dealing in luxury homes. And I was like, wow. And, just hand over fist. And, then as market changes, he even adapted and was bringing in more techniques and technology, more systems, and bringing his message of real estate investing and vision, helping sellers in difficult positions, really changing lives, thousands of people. I've been to his seminars, and he still does them. He's now down in Orlando. He was in Vegas when I first met him. So really, really an intelligent guy, very enthusiastic. He walks the walk. So this is the 3rd time we've actually had Marco speaking for us. Every time he speaks on another strategy and technique. I'm personally very, very excited about what he's going to bring to you tonight. This is again, unique, a lot of cool twists on some things, perfect for this market. If you're a real estate agent, even better. So he has a lot of great things in store for us tonight. So I would like to ask just to have everyone turn on their camera. You're going to get more from it when he can see you and your response to his speaking. The more you more you give DeMarco, the more he gives back to you. So let's all turn on our video and say hi. Let him show you. You know, if he's not going to judge you if you have stinky breath because he can't smell it.
Huh.
Or you know,
Well, I
I
hope
don't know.
not.
Yeah, we haven't got the smell-o-vision yet. But I'm going to turn it over to Marco at this point. And thank you, Marco, for coming back.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love being here. Hey guys, hope you're well. Let me
Marco.
stop. Hey guys. All right. Yes. So as Duncan was saying, the more I see you, the more I can interact with you, ask you questions. I'm here to hopefully not just teach you something, but for you to take advantage of this market right now. And I'm really glad that Sarah was sharing what she was sharing. I think Sarah saw me for as a few years ago. I think I remember you in that room, sitting on the left-hand side with your mom or sister, you know, something like that, if I'm not
You're so
mistaken.
smart, Marco.
I'm not
That
smart. I
you
just,
remember me from all that long time
I have
ago.
mild autism and I somehow remember things that are important, and that was important. So, you know, that's that. Kelly, good to see you as well. Linda, good to see you as well. I feel like I'm sitting on Linda's lap right now, and and she's Santa Claus. But I hope you're well, Linda. Christopher, good to see you as well. I don't think we've met before, but and if we have, then hello. And I won't be able to really interact with anyone else other than those that I see. And I'll be asking those that I see questions. If you do have a question, which I'm going to invite, and by the way, just so you know what we're going to be talking about, um, uh, basically how to take advantage of high interest rates, even if they dip down a little bit. There's a huge opportunity, and I'm going to share that with you. I historically do whatever's best in the market. My philosophy is always fastest path to cash flow. As Duncan was saying, I did a lot of luxury home flips. Actually, Linda was at one of my very first seminars back in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. I've been at this a long time. I started doing real estate investing in 1999, long time ago, 25 years now. Man, I was really young. I'm looking at old things of mine. I'm like, wow, I was a child. And yeah, you know, time waits for no one. And Linda actually attended. She actually did a deal and made money. And that's what I'm all about, is how do you actually apply this information? And I'm here for every single one of you to make as much money as humanly possible. In fact, I believe it's your God-given right to be wealthy and take care of your family and have abundance through the service of others. And if you are clear on that message and are process driven, because most investors, as the gentleman was saying before, go to feast and famine, feast and famine. You do a deal, you get some cash, and then you got to go hunt again, get more money. You're constantly going through this cycle of feast and famine. And as the cycles change, it's hard to keep up with, you know, as things ebb and flow, you get used to doing something. Now you got to do something else because what you were doing 3 weeks ago doesn't work anymore, or you have to work 3 times as hard in order to get the same result, or spend a tremendous amount of marketing in order to get a result. So I have a basic principle, which is it's forbidden to use any of your own money to acquire assets. It's forbidden to use any of your own money for getting financed. It's forbidden for you to use any of your own money or credit. And every deal you do, you should get paid to buy it and not bring money to the table. And I'm really glad that Sarah's here because there has been a significant shift. And the shift is hopefully, with lower interest rates, hopefully tickles the market a little bit for it to deconstipate, if I can use that word. By the way, I just say it like it is. I'm not sure. You guys are from Boston. You can handle anything. You know, you guys are not like New Yorkers, a little bit sensitive. You know, you guys can handle shit. So and again, guys, if your video is not on, listen, I have a face for radio, so don't worry about it. All right. I don't care what you look like. It's just a matter of, I don't know what just walked behind you, Christopher, but it was hilarious. I don't know what that person is wearing on their head, but that's great. Whatever it is. All right. That's fine. Maybe if it was your spouse, I'd be more concerned or really excited for you. I don't know, because that'd be kind of neat. So if that's how you roll now in Boston, it's all good. So, right now, most struggle with money as far as getting financed for an opportunity. And usually what stops you from making as much money as possible is that money flow, getting access to money. And if you're a wholesaler, I don't know what level of skill you have. There's a lot of ways of acquiring assets. There's obviously the basics, which is wholesaling, tying it up and selling it, which is really minimum wage. As far as I'm concerned, you can still make good money, but you're selling the sheep and not the wool. I would like, if this is something that you are all about, I like to own an asset and have it pay me forever, for at least 30 years if possible. So every asset that we buy is long-term cash flow, and you stack that cash flow until you never have to work again. So replacing active income, having to work a day to get paid for a day, swapping the only commodity that we know or we think we have, which is time. If you're trading time for money, you're going to exhaust yourself over time because there's only so much time that you can put in, and there's only so much money you can make for your time. And if you want to be wealthy, which is why most people get into real estate, is you want to feed your family, take care of them. Because I was married when I was 18, 4 kids at 24. I got divorced when I was 30. I had custody of the kids. And, you know, when you struggle, you struggle. When you, we counted how many times my family moved. Before I got to this house, it was over 30. We were evicted all over the place. So I understand financial struggles. And in 2009, I was doing very well. My spouse decided to take basically every penny that was in our bank account, over $11 million, and disappear with someone else. That left me homeless, and I had to start all over again. And and by the way, she was from Boston. No, you know, not that that necessarily matters, but you know, she's from Boston. So she, you know, it was a bad day at the office. And once I was done spiraling into self-pity and really honestly turned to drugs and alcohol, I tried to commit suicide twice. And once I had an experience, it was a really powerful experience where a homeless man actually told me to wear red socks, which makes no sense. I'm not going to get into it. But it completely changed my life once those red socks arrived. I don't want to bore you with that story, but it was pretty magical the day that I actually got them, and it completely changed my life from feeling sorry for myself to being grateful for actually being alive. And in a very short period of time, took advantage of the economy as it was, because during the crash, you could pick up properties for pennies. You could buy all of Detroit for $100, right? So it was a really good time to buy assets. The market was great to acquire if you had access to money, which is important, which is what we're going to discuss. If you guys, I don't even know if you want access to money. Guys, do you even want access to as much money as you would ever want to buy as many properties as you want? I'm not sure if I'm talking to the right group. Christopher? Yes,
Yeah,
no,
of
maybe.
course.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. This is interactive, by the way. This is a completely, I'm not going to be yapping away, and you know, this is 100% interactive. All right. I'm not a speaker that just blah, 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 blah. You're like, well, you know, when is he going to stop droning on and on? All right. So I really welcome interaction. I actually welcome questions at the right time, because I'm going to build on I'm going to stack the information that I'm going to be sharing with you. Stack it so you understand it, because if you understand it, hopefully you'll do it. If you don't do it, it's your life. You know, you do what you want with your life. We got one as we know it, and what we do with it is really what matters, right? So having access to money, very important. Understanding how to get the right properties at the right price, very important. And having a team of people that really understand how to bring deals to you. And one of the reasons I love real estate agents so much is if they're good, and, you know, Sarah is clearly, you know, extremely competent. She's working hard to bring opportunities, and she gets a commission, which she 100% earns. In fact, how would you like to delegate 100% of the work to get a buyer and a seller and basically get 90% of the profit? I don't know if that even would make any sense, but why not pay someone well to do the heavy lifting as far as finding either a deal, an opportunity, or selling the opportunity and sandwiching yourself in the middle to make literally 90% of the profits, because we're giving the agents and up front, it seems like it's 10% of the profit, but it's actually a lot less once you look at how much money you make over the span of a deal, right? It's really just a fraction of the opportunity for them doing what they love so they can feed their family. Specifically now, when it's so hard to get financing, there's actually a massive opportunity that most are overlooking completely, right? Even real estate agents that don't necessarily know what can be done if it's done well and responsibly, right? There's a lot of yahoos in every business. You know, there's a lot of people that are out for how much can I screw over someone else. Those are not my value systems. I want to, help as many people as possible. And it sounds like bullshit when you say, how can you help somebody make a ton of money? Well, if you find a seller that does need help, because we typically want to deal with distressed sellers, not distressed property. Distressed property is a pain in the ass. You got to put a lot of time and energy and effort, and hopefully you don't go over budget, and hopefully you can sell it. And there's a lot of hopefullys in there. But when you have a distressed seller that just needs out quickly, it's a lot easier to create an opportunity and create the deal where it's impossible to lose. And the seller gets exactly what they need, right? So now I just want to take 2 steps back and just honestly and authentically ask, are you okay with making sure that everyone gets well paid and make a few $1 million at the same time, but leaving a little meat on the bone for everyone to do well, but do as many as you can, because volume is better than doing one and then go hunt again, keep hunting. So are you okay with creating a process where you're not doing one every 6 months, one every quarter, you're doing a few every single week? So are you all right with that?
Yes.
I'll just wait right here to get a reaction. Okay, it's gonna
Yeah,
be one of those deals. All right, very good. So Sarah, I'm gonna just do a quick interview. I had no idea I was gonna do this. She didn't know she was gonna do this either, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so as a real estate agent right now, all right, I heard what you were saying in that there are people that want to buy, right, but they either can't get qualified, or their debt to income ratio is off, because with higher interest rates, you have to make more. Values spiked up recently, right? Because there was a lot of rallying on the values of assets, and they really went up very quickly, right? So now you got properties that are more expensive than they were before. You've got interest rates that are higher than they were before. So your payments now are almost impossible for the average Joe or Josephine to be able to step into it and actually make this a possibility. So your buyer pool with very high interest rates really dries up very quickly as things become more and more expensive. So the reality, and I don't know what Boston is like, because I'm not in Boston or the Boston area. It's a lot hard. It's a completely different environment getting a buyer to actually, they want it, but they can't get to it. Am I full of shit here, or is that pretty much what's happening?
Yes, there's a lot of buyers are that way. Yep.
Right. Yeah. Buyers want to buy, but they don't have access to the financing, right? So the financing is a problem.
Yeah.
And there are 25% more properties on the market, right?
Yep.
And so you have more properties than before on the market right now.
Yep.
And buyers, so you have a lot of people that want to sell and not enough buyers, which is creating a great opportunity. Like you had asked, is this a buyer's market or not? Well, I guess it depends. If someone's out to lunch and smoking crack and wants 3 times more for their house than it's worth, then those aren't necessarily our customers either. We're looking for the 1% that need to sell, right? That just need to sell. And 1% of almost 4,000 is 400. And that's 1%. So there's at least 400 people in that pool in Boston, which, there are only a handful of people here that are getting this information and will get this information. And again, if you want access to it. So would you like to have access to those 400 people and sandwich yourself in this transaction, not once, but every month forever, and take care of a real estate agent at the same time? Because if they know how to find those opportunities and know which questions to ask as they're listing the property, all right, then you can actually still pay them even if the property is upside down. A lot of people refinance with lower rates. They want out of the property, and now they have these really low interest rates that are on the property already, but they want to sell it, but they can't because they either owe too much, or they're in a financial difficulty, or they have a medical problem, or they're going through either a business divorce or a personal divorce. They're basically 5 Ds, the 5 big reasons why people sell: debt, either going into foreclosure, death, divorce, displacement, they're moving. It's not owner occupied, it's vacant. they had a tenant trash the place. Now they have this bad taste in their mouth. So the asset is basically dying, or there's a death in the family. There's a lot of reasons why people sell. And if you really need to sell and there are fewer buyers, generally the seller's in a pickle. And I just want to help that seller, help an agent, and just create a process where I'm not overwhelmed so I can have a quality of life, because I believe that's why we all got in the business, to have a better lifestyle, right? And if you can stack the cash flow that you're going to be making, you're going to do very well. All right. So from an agent perspective, if you have a buyer and you offered your buyers, say, listen, man, first of all, what does it take now? You're on the ground, Sarah, and you're clearly, very active. So what's a typical buyer have to bring to the table in order to get qualified for a property, right? So what is it that they need down? And what's the average interest rate that someone has to, basically commit themselves to, all right, in order to actually get into the property that they're looking for?
Definitely, that would be the pre-approval letter, which goes
And how
through
much
all
down would
the-
they need, though, to get pre-approved?
Yep.
Is it like a 2% down, 3% down, 10% down, 20% down?
The
Ish.
minimum you can go in some products will be 3%.
3%?
3.5. The minimum is the least minimum you can
So
go.
is 90%, 80% is like, and if someone
The
is,
majority, what most people are doing, there is a big majority that are doing 10%. And then there is people that are doing more, and there is people that are doing less.
right. So at
10%
90%
is fine
financing,
then.
so 10% down is normal, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you're putting 10% down, it's generally, you're going to have to pay a higher interest rate than 20% down, right? The less you
Yeah.
put down, the more your rate goes up, correct?
Yep.
So if you're probably looking at an interest rate of 6.5%, 7%, correct? Maybe even 7.5%
Yeah.
at 10% down.
Yeah.
Now, what if you did less than 10% down? All right. And
You have
a better
PMI,
interest rate than the
which-
bank. Less than 10% down and better rates than the bank.
That's excellent. And
With
no
zero
PMI.
qualification. I'll say this again. Less than 10% down. All right. And better interest rates than the bank. Okay. So first, let's take a look at how banks operate. All right. And I hope you enjoy this as much as I nerded out over this when I figured this out. All right. So right now, a bank borrows money from either its deposits, but I'm going to annex that for a second. As it's interesting. You put money in Chase, they take that money, they lend it to Duncan, they create a loan. And when Duncan gets the money, he puts that in Chase. So now they still have his money, but they now created a loan where he now owes Chase the money, and they sell that note and get another 50 grand. So it's kind of interesting. So they just recycle that money over and over again. However, if I have, I want to make a loan or a mortgage, I borrow money from the Fed, and then I lend out that money to the individual, right? So it's basically a chain, and they make that spread for 30 years. That's how it works. So the question is would you like to make that spread for 30 years instead of the bank? In fact, would you like to be the bank and do it over and over and over again by offering buyers a lower mortgage than what the bank can do? So they're going to you for financing, even though you don't have a penny, or you're living under a bridge. You're a troll. All right. You're living under a bridge. You're living in your car. You have zero cash. But because you understand how to put these transactions together, you're doing it over and over and over again. And agents are now helping the sellers that need to sell because they're bringing the deals to you. You're packaging the deal, having perhaps a different agent, or generally I like to have a buyer's agent, seller's agent. So there's two different paths. So it's not getting confusing. And you're giving a commission to both parties, which is generally 2.5%, 3% on each side. Okay. So you're basically taking less than 10, getting a small cash down payment because it's less than 10. You're making some cash, but you're making cash flow for the rest of your life. And I'm unpacking a lot right now, but the big idea is instead of the bank borrowing money from the Fed, we're going to basically create opportunities where we're leaving existing cheap mortgages in place and wrapping them. I call this infinite wholetailing. All right. So I basically created this process where agents know exactly what to do. They bring you the deal, you put it together, you put it on the market, and in a very short period of time, you sandwich yourself in and you pretty much only own the property for less than a second. Less than a second. All right. Now, anyone interested in learning about this at all?
This is not loan assumption, Marco.
We're not assuming any loans.
Okay.
If you're assuming a loan,
Yeah.
you're taking responsibility for that loan.
Yeah.
And the bank makes a decision on how much money you can make. And I have a problem with that because, first of all, let's take 3 steps back. Do wealthy people go to banks to buy buildings? Do they use their own money, number one, to go buy buildings? They don't use the bank because they own the bank. There are other money sources that the wealthy use that are not banks. In fact, banks are for consumers, period. All right. You think someone like Trump went bankrupt, less than a year later, he buys billion-dollar buildings, right? Because they're not using their credit and they're not using their money. They're using the asset's value in order to borrow money. It's based on the asset. It's called asset-backed lending. All right. So if you understand and if you can get over the fact that money is available as much as you want on the right opportunity, if you know how to structure deals, you'll never have money problems again because you're not going to banks that are putting their meat hooks in you in order to get deals and finance deals. You're using the existing pieces on the board and resources of the wealthy, basically their insider wealth tools, their insider tools that the wealthy have been using forever, instead of you using consumer tools. Because with consumer tools, you're designed to not do well. Because if your credit's involved at one point, you won't get financing anymore. Because now your debt to income ratio is off. No matter how much money you make, there's a cap as to how much money you can borrow, and the bank is going to say yes or they say no. Your financial future is based on someone else. Are you okay with that? Having someone else dictate how much money you can make? And if your credit dips for whatever reason, shit happens, man. Things happen in life, and now you're literally put, to put to pasture because of a short time window that happened in your life where your credit just dipped, and now suddenly they could even call the loan due, which is terrible, right? So I see someone in the chat says like hard money. I don't use hard money because that's easy money. We don't pay more than 6 to 8% on any borrowed money we ever use. All right. And we're not going to borrow at 6 to 8%. We're going to get really, really cheap mortgages. But first I want to make sure that you understand the big idea, and then we'll go into the minutia and the details. All right. So Sarah, if I gave you a checklist of saying, this is exactly what we're looking for, even if the property is completely upside down and over mortgaged, as long as there's a decent mortgage on it that's lower than a certain percentage, would you have you ever come across someone that needs to sell where there's no spread for an agent? Has that happened ever?
Happens a lot. Yeah.
Happens a lot. And and what can you do for that person generally?
I mean, that will eventually, if we can start right away, or now it's going to be short sale or foreclosure.
It's going to hurt them, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to take it in the shorts. You're going to have to hurt the seller in some way. And we can't ethically say, stop making your payments so we can short sale the property. That's not ethical, right? Yeah. Some people do, but that's not something I don't want to tell someone to ruin their credit. I want to help them before that even happens. So the big idea is you have a checklist or a clarity to real estate agents on what to say, how to say it, and basically train them on the process of what to find. And there's a lot of them. All right. I believe the words were, there's a lot it happens a lot, right?
Yeah,
those people need to sell, but they're over leveraged, right? And after closing costs, agent commissions, everything else, there's no money for the agent. There's no incentives, or they have to write a check. They don't have the money to write that check. That person needs help. But there's a huge opportunity in that. Okay. So let me first show you this, if I may. All right. Do I have permission to continue, first of all? All right. Very good. Now, I'm going to do a quick, Sarah's gone. All right. So nice to talk to you, Sarah. So the, is it my breath? I think it's okay. All right. So the wholesaling person, the person that understands wholesaling, right? Let's take a $500,000 property. All right. And there's, Mayo, which is maximum allowable offer, and it's 70% or whatever, minus repairs, blah, blah, blah. Right. So there's a property that we just did this just a few days ago. $500,000 property in Florida, Vero Beach, Florida. All right. And got it under contract for 325. All right. 325. Lady's in her late 80s. Her husband passed away and she basically needs $60,000 over her mortgage right now. Like she's got a medical issue and she's got to have $60,000 and she's got to clear 60 or she's going to die. All right. And she doesn't have a lot of time to have all those days on the market to hopefully get it sold. So what would normally happen is she would go on and get a wholesaler, right? And if you're wholesaling this property for 325, all right, how much cash do you think can be made? All right. If you have a property for 325,000 as an investor, all right, how much money can be made? All right. Ish, if you were to tie this up, all right, and do something with it to wholesale it. Anyone have any ideas? Because I want to hear from those that are boots on the ground, not me being a speaker. And I do this for a living. We do over not 6,000. We do about 1,500 units a year. I buy hotels, apartment buildings. I'm getting I've gotten now processes together for a single family. We're doing a handful a week, and we're ramping it up as these processes are getting refined. And you're at the basically in the floor of this, all right? Because there's very few people that are doing this. I haven't even started really teaching this. I've done it with a handful of people to get all the kinks out of it. Now that it's ready, here I am. You're the first group I'm actually offering this to, just to be clear, all right? So how much cash generally as a wholesaler, if it's worth 500,000, you get it for three and a quarter, right? And I want you to make the assumption that you don't have a pot to piss in. You're broke as hell, all right? No credit. You get it for 325. We're going to be here all night. All right. We got 10 to 20K here. Anyone else? Is that the final answer? 10 to 20,000?
25.
Kelly, Christopher?
I'm going to
10
say
to 20?
50. I'm going to say
50?
50.
10 to 20,000 wholesaling, 50,000 might not be a bad number, right? You could get 50 possibly, right? Let's say if this was in Boston, all right? It's worth 500, you got it for 325. 50? Fair?
Yeah.
All right. If I said that the number's actually doing it my way over almost $1 million, would that excite you in any way? And I know you think that's fucking no way. Pardon my French, but there's no way you can make $1 million on that. Would you agree? Is like a Scooby-Doo moment. Like, there's no way. All right. Now, by the end of this, all right, by the end of this, I will show you to the penny how and why we did. Fair?
Fair.
To the penny. All right. And this is everywhere. All right. This is not specific to Florida. This is nationwide. Nationwide. And we're taking care of agents as we are doing this. The agent wins, we win, seller wins, everybody wins. All right. Now, first, I want to get into actual mortgage rates. So I'm going to do a screen share real quick. All right. This is from the the New York Times. All right. So this is not data that I just made up today. All right. This is hard data for those that like data. Can you guys see this a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
All
Looks
right.
good.
So, right. So rates are too good to give up, right? Because they have low interest rates on their property. All right. Americans are stuck in homes they would rather leave. All right. They want to sell, but they can't because there's no buyers. All right. And there's just in the Boston area, 1,000 houses right now. I think it's houses, or I don't know if it's all property. All right. I don't know if that data was just houses or whatever the property is. They have cheap mortgage rates. Now, let me show you this. Hopefully you can see this. All right. Now, the black line over here, the dark black line, is existing mortgages. New mortgages. So historically, a new mortgage, if you can see my cursor, I don't know if you can or not, historically, new mortgages are cheaper than new mortgages, right? There's little peaks over here where a new mortgage is actually more expensive than the existing mortgage. The gray line is existing, right? There's a 3.2% gap as of now, all right, which is a new rate is 3.2% higher than the average in the United States right now, 3.2%, which means that's a higher gap than what Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever the bank is, makes on a mortgage now, all right? That's a huge spread from existing to new mortgages. All right. Now I started in 99. It's like this was created just for me. I'm very excited about this. Get off the heat charts. All right. Now here's the cool part. The reason I'm excited is because it started in 99 when I first doing this. Now, existing mortgages in 99 were anywhere between 6 and 10%, very close to what we are now. All right. 2005, you'll see that it's cheaper, 4 to on average 8, couple tens. 2011, right after the recession, forgive me, is 3 all the way over here. And you'll notice that interest rates on existing mortgages are dipping cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Got it? Right now, we're seeing mortgages as low as 1.5% all the way. 6 is rare, honestly. We're in this 2 to 4% range. Now, Annie, who is the seller, all right, her husband died and she had a existing loan, a VA loan that had 8 years left at 3%. 3%, 8 years left. Now, if you understand how mortgages work, the first third of a mortgage is all interest, right? The second third is 50-50 in principal and interest. The last third is you're basically paying off your house. She is in the last trimester of a 30-year mortgage. She passed and husband died and the mortgage is there. Now, why would I pay off an existing mortgage? Why not just leave it there? So take it over subject to the existing mortgage, all right? If you understand sub 2s, you'll understand this. Now, and give her she wants $60,000 after closing costs, and we're going to give her $60,000 of closing costs. This property is worth $500,000, all right? Now, we tie it up. Hopefully we tie it up, and we're going to say, we're going to give you cash. We're going to take over your existing debt, all right? And you're going to get exactly what you need. And this, by the way, we got this lead on Thursday and had it signed on Sunday. Thursday, lead comes in. Sunday, contract done. The second the contract is done, we now basically go to real estate agents in the area and say, hey, we got this property where we're offering owner financing terms. We're going to finance this property at better than the bank. All right. With not 20% down. In fact, around just over 10% down, but the rate's going to be better than the bank, around 6%. 6. All right. Now it's worth 500. Is there a value? Is there a value to beat the bank's interest rates?
100%, yes.
Yes.
So someone with 10% down and I'm not looking for someone with spectacular credit. I'm looking for someone that has been denied a mortgage. And by the way, a mortgage broker gets paid how much on someone that they deny? And most entrepreneurs, investors, real estate investors, people that have a business have terrible credit because they're putting all their money in their business and they do what it takes in order to keep the business alive. And generally they have some cash, they have great intentions, but sometimes shit happens, like I said, and they can't get a mortgage. They have the money and they go to a bank, and I've seen people getting a 9 and 10% interest rate because they just want the American dream. They want to own a home or a property. I'm going to start this with residential stuff, but once we get into commercial, it's going to blow your mind. We're looking at millions and millions of dollars. All right. So I'm going to start small. And if you guys want to go bananas, we can do that if we have time. All right. So do you understand that existing mortgages right now, again, these are existing mortgages that have been around for a while, already paid down, already amortized, and are getting paid off a lot faster than a new mortgage. Have I lost anybody yet? Good talk.
No.
All right.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm
All
here.
right. Very good. Amortization calculator. All right. Here we go. Now, there is value to offer something better than the bank. All right. We're going to do a quick Google search here to see what rates are. Now, I'm going to put this on market, not for 500, but for 525, just a little bit more. All right. 525. And I'm going to need $60,000 down so I can give it to my seller. Right. Now, if there's, in this case, she needs 60. If she needed less, then you structure this where whatever the down payment is takes care of the agent and the seller. I'm not getting a whole lot up front. And by the way, the closing cost for doing something like this is less than $500. There's no transfer fees. There's no doc stamps. There's no title insurance is already on the property. Like you're basically just sandwiching yourself in through paperwork. All right. owning this thing, this sucker for less than a second. It's literally just being transferred to our next buyer. All right. And our next buyer, are they paying, first of all, are they paying the insurance? Are they paying the taxes? Are they paying the maintenance? Are they paying everything as a buyer? Does Chase have to pay any of those things? Is there tenants, trash, termites, toilets, any of that shit? Pardon the pun. No, right? They own the property. All right. So 525 minus 60,000 is, survey says, anyone know the math on that? 525,
470, wait, 60,
470, 60?
65. 465.
465.
460.
Alexa,
All right. At 6.5.
uh,
All right. Which is better than the bank. All right. Their payment is almost $3,000 a month. The outgoing payment is $1,100 a month for 8 years. What's the difference between $2,939 and $1,100?
$39,100.
A lot.
1,800.
Yeah.
That's more than half.
Mhm.
You guys are really great at math. I'm very impressed. All right. Let's call it just for,
1,839.
it's around, let's call it 1,800. All right. 1,800 what? Once?
Every
What
How
month.
long?
3 months.
For 3 months? For only 3 months?
No, every month.
Every month for how long?
For 30 years.
30
Not
years.
for 30 years. No, because the
8 years.
existing mortgage is paid off in 8.
8 years.
Oh,
There's
8
100
years.
months left. There's 100 months left. So if you take 1,800 times 100 months, that's the first cycle. And then the rest, which is 260 months, you get that entire amount. So what is that number? All right. For 260 months, 2,939 times 260. Because that's the rest of the mortgage. If they decide to just in 8 years, not pay it off, they just want to sell, they just keep it and pay it off. What's that number? 2,939 times 260 months. That's what's left. What's that number, guys?
764.
How much?
764.
764. 764,000. You're the bank now, because this is how banks make money. We're so programmed that we just want to sell the sheep, sell the sheep, sell the sheep, sell the sheep. What the hell? Keep the sheep. Sell the sheep. Now, again, I have an agent that knows exactly what to do to bring them. How much work am I doing?
Little to none.
All right. Well, I got to get the information. I got to learn how to do it. I have to have the conversation with the agent. And you think all agents are as fantastic as Sarah? Or you think most agents are like, what do you think?
Most of them are like,
Right? So you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you get to the prince or princess. You got to get to the right one. So there's a process to that. So you're not beating your head against the wall saying this is never going to happen, never going to work. You have to quickly sift and sort who is going to be wasting your time. Because at the end of the day, guys, when you have a few days to live, what do you want more? More money or more time?
More time.
more time.
We all want more time, and we think money is the commodity. It's not, it's time. You got to leverage your time, man, because time with your kids, time with your family, you look, I remember years go by and I'm so busy being busy. I look at my kids, I'm like, shit, they have beards and one of them's a girl. That's a problem. You know what I mean? Like you gotta head this shit off at the pass, right? You gotta be present. And the more I can do to automate things, like I know people, and I'm sure there's some people on the call right now, you have property and you're managing your own Jerry Springer tenants. You're taking time managing tenants instead of finding more opportunity to make more cash flow. You have a job. You're buying a new job. Stop it. Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your life. You're from Boston. You can punch me in the face. All right. So it's the more you delegate, the more time you have, the more deals you can do. All right. Now, if you take 1,800 times 100 months, because the first 100 months you're making $1,800. So 1,800 times 100 is
180.
And 80,000.
180,000 plus the other number that we had together. What's that number? 700 and change plus 180. What are we looking at?
That's like a
Almost a million,
million.
Mhm.
960.
Yeah.
So when I tell you that you can make almost $1 million on this, when some are making 10 to 20,000, that's minimum wage. You're
Yeah.
getting paid once instead of get paid forever. Now, here's the coolest part of all. Let's say that your seller wants to sell the property in the next 7 years. Is there a mortgage left on that thing? Almost 1 year left. 1 year left. Why not be the bank again and sell it again? Be the bank again, beat the bank, and now you have another mortgage for the next 30 years. And you're, what if they stop paying, Marco? What's going to happen? Well, I deal in asset-based lending. I started 3 private equity funds. All right. And I'm really at the cutting edge of how structuring asset-based lending works. And just so you understand how it works, if you get a deal that meets the criteria, you get the money because they're not lending you the money. They're lending the deal that cash flows the money. All right. And there's criteria to that. They don't care about you. They don't care if you're toothless, you're homeless, if you have a hair on your head, what religion you are, what color you are. It doesn't matter. It's your experience doesn't matter either because it's professionally third-party managed. So they know a good management team is there. There's criteria. They give you all the money plus cash out at closing because your one job, you have a finder's fee. And this is not syndication where you're getting money from all over the place. It's one source. They give the money to close the deal. You get money in your pocket. If there's optimization, if you need money to fix it up and it increases the value of the asset, let's go, because their money is safe in order to do that. So you get paid at closing, you get money repairs, and the interest rate does not go over 8%. And if you want to know more about that, we can get into that rabbit hole. I can speak for hours on this. All right. Again, I have 3 funds that do this. All right. And it's easy. Your one job, you found the deal. It's your deal. It belongs to you. All right. You get the tax deduction. You don't have to deal with the management because someone else is doing it. All right. You have one job, make the payment. That's it. Make the damn payment. You miss 2 payments, you automatically lose a property. It's not foreclosure. All right. The paperwork basically says it's now asset-based lenders. And there's no reason why you're going to lose the payment, because if generally we're buying assets that are at 11, 12, 13, 14% return, and now it's even better. All right. And you're borrowing the money at 6 or 7, and that spread is plenty of space for you to make the payment. There's no reason to not make the payment. And if you happen to not make the payment, which has only happened twice in the last 8 years, twice, one of which they just wanted to see what would happen if they didn't make the payment. And that's being a bonehead. All right. You want to be a bonehead and just see what happens. I already know what's going to happen. It's over. All right. Don't be a bonehead. And the other time they went on vacation and they just didn't get it done. Oh, well. All right. Now, if you happen to be a bonehead and lose the property, it is what it is, but it doesn't affect your credit. You got paid at closing. You made all the cash flow. Go find another one. They're not mad because you just literally doubled their returns. Because instead of getting 6%, they're now getting 12 or 13. They're making twice the money. So the downside in this money source, that's how wealthy operate, is you're going to give me money, and if I don't keep my promise, you double your money. If you were in a position where every dollar you borrowed, if you didn't keep your promise, people would make $2, how much money would you have access to? This is the
Lots of
senior
money.
citizens group.
Lots of money.
Lots of money. All right. Which means that if you have to give the seller a couple bucks to move on, and you can't get all the money from the human being that is going to give you, like, you're exceeding your threshold of closing at the same time, where you're taking the 60 and paying the agent and paying Annie and paying everything off. There's a source where you can actually take care of the agent, and that cash flow will more than cover whatever you're borrowing to pay that off zippity quick. So you're not limited by money, and using an existing mortgage to sandwich yourself in and having an agent find you the opportunity, and an agent being on the ground. And by the way, what is my marketing cost up front? Because this is another killer that I see, is I ran out of marketing money. I'm putting money in and I'm not seeing a return, and I'm going to quit because I'm running out of cash. How much money up front do you need, guys?
Zero.
Duncan, I'm a little concerned. All right. No money up front. And again, is a mortgage broker or an agent that has a buyer that now doesn't have 5 or 6 houses to show, because if you're doing this well, you have a lot of property that are on the market right now. All right. Just in Florida. All right. I believe the stat is 300,000 plus assets that are not selling within a certain time period. All right. Then you have, I think we pulled 92,000 that meet the criteria throughout Florida. All right. And there's about 15,000 plus ish, 14,000 and change. All right. That are perfect just in Florida. 14,000. Is that enough for any of us? Can I do that by myself?
For sure.
No, I can't do that by myself. All right.
Come on.
All right. No, I'm too lazy. All right. I'm too lazy to do that. So there, and the opportunity, by the way, and as the rates go down, what's going to happen to this opportunity?
Home prices will go up.
Prices will go up. And, or if the market goes down, if you have a 2% mortgage or 3% mortgage with a few years left, you're paying off the existing loan faster than they're paying you off. You understand that you're paying off your debt faster than they're paying off yours. And if they want to sell, refinance it again to your next buyer, get their down payment and be the bank again. Why give the business to the bank once you be the bank?
Makes
Why
sense.
not? Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It makes dollars, guys. A lot of dollars. A lot of dollars. Now, at one point, I lived in the Newton area. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the Newton area. All right. Are there any properties in Newton?
You're in Mass?
Yeah,
Newton,
Newton, Mass.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
All right. What's the average price of a property in Newton?
Nothing under $1 million.
All right.
Like nothing.
All right. So is 2 million a fair assessment?
Yeah.
All right. So what if there's a property right now in a luxury home? All right. Now this a luxury home seller is slightly different than someone that has half a million. As you get higher up, there are slightly different processes. And once we get into commercial, it changes again. All right. Real estate, the mistake that most make is it's a one size fits all. If it works here, it's going to work there. If it works in this market, it doesn't mean it's going to work in a different kind of flat market, up market, down market. There's some nuances. And I've been not teaching this for the last 25 years. I've been buying I have over 6,000 units and I'm buying and selling constantly. I just sold a mobile home park in North Carolina. All right. And I sold it on exactly like this. The existing mortgage was 200,000. I sold it for 1.7 at a 5.5% interest rate because they couldn't get anything close to even 7 and not 20% down because I don't want large amounts of cash because I want as much debt as possible because the cash flow is what pays the bills. That puts gas in the car, clothes on the kids, food on the table, and it's income for how long?
It's a lifetime.
30 years.
Mhm.
So while most are going to be hustling forever, you guys, if you're smart enough to see the opportunity and are willing to learn something new and are ready to work once to get paid for 30 years by serving a seller that can't sell, that has a cheap mortgage, to serve a buyer that is literally getting gouged by a bank at 8-9% interest because they're entrepreneurs and the bank has a risk profile. You're in the risk profile. Sorry, buddy, you're paying through the nose for this interest. Screw that. I'm an entrepreneur. You guys are entrepreneurs. You're here. Let's give them better than the bank and we make that money. And we're making shit tons of cash every month by giving them a better rate. So we're serving our bot. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're doing them a favor. And you close the same day that you buy, same exact time.
Wow.
50% of the cases, I'll say about 52 point something. Again, I'm a data guy. I love data. All right. In the transactions that we've done, about half of them, we don't pull any money out of closing, but we certainly make the next month we start making money. Now we can fix that by charging points if we want to. You want to charge 1 point for the loan? Are you allowed to do that?
Yes.
Could we charge 2 points and defer the points so we can take care? You can do fun things in order to add. If you're missing a couple bucks, don't go to an asset-based lender. Let's figure out the point structure and defer it so everyone gets paid. Listen, if the seller needs $60,000 today, could they maybe take $5,000 now and $1,000 a month until paid? Most likely, right? So we can play games as to how we structure the deal So the person that found us the deal and the person that didn't get qualified in that lead, we have to pay them first. Everyone gets paid first. I'm last on the table. But how much are we making last on this table? $1 million almost. So do you want to make 10 grand on a deal? Or do you want to make 100 times more?
100 times more.
Well, in order to make 100 times more, you have to do things that are 100 times different. Right?
Makes sense. Mhm.
Right. Because if you're doing what you're doing, you're never going to, you can't get to a new place by doing what you're doing now. You have to change what you're doing in order to get somewhere different. It's impossible to know, and I've been working on this 6 months almost daily trying to refine this. I got a text from Duncan like at 3 a.m, was in Poland, and I'm still at my I think you texted me at 5 a.m, 6 a.m, and I was still right here working it out. All right. When I'm onto something, I'm like a mad scientist. I can't sleep. All right. Because this opportunity is narrow. Because if the Fed lowers the rate too much, it won't matter because the existing debt, there's not much of a spread. Right now, it's a big spread. That half a point doesn't make a dent in this opportunity. But as they start lowering rates, if they do, this goes away. And you guys can start now. You get a lead on, by the way, if Sarah knows someone now that is in this situation, I will pay her not only for finding the opportunity, I'll put it together. She'll get another 2.5% to sell it. She wants a little bit more, a little bit less, whatever. I don't care. She can have all the down payment. I don't care because I'm in it for the long-term cash flow for 30 years. Do you understand? I want to be the bank, not go to a bank. That's how you become wealthy, by owning the bank. How much of my own money?
0. Zed. Nada.
Zed.
Zilch.
Now you're French. You're Canadian all of a sudden. That's where I'm from. I'm from Canada, Montreal. Sorry, I know there's Boston fans. We can't talk about Montreal and the Canadians. So, yeah. Any questions so far?
Wow.
Any questions at all?
That's so cool.
So Marco, what is your probably number one objection you get from sellers? Because you highlighted that there is a specific profile of person you want. So, people will probably need a few tries talking to people.
Oh, you're not talking to anybody because the agent is actually doing the talking. The agent is showing the video that's already been done to the seller to explain it. Because do you think if I explain it to you to explain to somebody else, like it's playing telephone? Remember when you were a kid, you're whispering in someone's ear, and then the next thing, it's I like apples, and it's like I like donkeys for breakfast. By the time it comes back, it's like it doesn't make any sense. So there's a loss in translation as it goes down that. So the process is really just play the video. I'm a licensed agent. I want to feed my family, and I know that if I can answer the questions that I know that I'm able to answer, or they can go through that, I'm going to get paid. They're already a real estate agent. They're already boots on the ground. Why would I have to work more if I can take care of someone that just wants to feed their damn family and do as many transactions as possible? Because I can't handle talking to 15 sellers at the same time, but I can certainly get 15 agents at the same time and sell that property in the same amount of time, whether it's 15, 4, or 1, because I'm creating a product that is in high demand, cheap financing.
So the trick is more to network with a bunch of agents. Is that what I'm understanding?
It's attract the right agents that are willing to learn, that are hungry, that are willing to follow a process, where with a broker that explains that it's not illegal, it's not mortgage fraud, it's none of that shit, because I hear that shit all the time. It's illegal, you have to assume, you can't do it, it's unethical. It's not. If you look at a HUD, which is a federal document, I think it's line item 203, it's subject to existing financing. It's on a HUD. And if it's on a HUD, is that illegal? I bet you most real estate agents have never even seen that line item. Pull out a HUD, Sarah. You'll see it.
All right.
Look right now and tell me what line item it is.
All right. Let me.
I want her to call bullshit on me right now.
It's there.
What line item?
Do you see it?
No, let me just, I had a closing on the 15th and I had one before on the 28th. Let me see.
Drum roll.
Please call me a liar. Please call me a liar. I love being wrong. I love it. It means I'm learning something,
Oh,
but I'm
no.
not.
Okay, let's see. This is the summer CD.
Duncan, do you see it?
I know it's there. I've seen it many times.
Yeah, but all right. Knowing it's there and showing you it's there is totally different. Like
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I want here, let me pull up a HUD here.
Let me pull one up too. Hold on. Hold on.
HUD line 2.
No, it's 203, I believe. I could, or 208. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Hang on a sec. Hang on, I found it.
You wanted a deed, right?
I don't want a deed. I want a HUD, an actual
No, the
HUD.
HUD.
Like a CD.
All
We
right,
don't.
here we go. Here's a HUD. Here,
Okay.
this is the mobile home park I just sold. All right,
Okay.
1.73. All right. 203, existing loans taken subject to, right here. Now they gave me $400,000 down. All right. I was left with 384,000-ish. All right. Sorry. Two seller 54 after commissions. Did I get a lot of money on that one? Because I paid off the mortgage. Now, why would I want to pay off the mortgage?
More cash in your pocket.
I get more cash flow because that was a more expensive mortgage. I'm getting rid of an expensive mortgage because it's better for me to pay it off and me get the entire amount. It's around 10 grand a month. I bought this park for 300 grand. And because I offered financing terms and knew exactly how to structure it for another human being where they couldn't lose, it was a no-brainer to do that because the interest rate is so low. When I know exactly what lenders lend on what and how, and the opportunity on this, they had to buy it. Had 3 backup offers on this. So this closed. What date is this, guys?
What date is it?
July 3rd.
Yeah,
July 3rd.
2024.
For those that are, a little older, how's that? How about this?
Better.
All right. So this got it in June. Sold it in July.
Wow.
Oh. Who does the work, guys?
Agents.
The
Agents found
Yeah.
the deal. I put the deal together. I get it sold and they got a commission. Guys, I got how much money did I was left at the end of the day? I got 400 some $1,000. Hello? Look, I was left with only 54,000 after everyone's paid. Only 54,000.
Rosa.
And who did all the work?
And the agents.
All I do is put the pieces together. I'm not going up to this property to take a look at it. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's in Boston, North Carolina. I don't care if it's in Toadsuck Ferry, Arkansas.
That's a nice place this time of year.
I'm sure it is. So I don't know, but do you want to work once and get paid once? Or do you want to do one of these in the next few weeks, then do another one shortly thereafter? Because once your systems and processes are set up, it's one after the other because you're going into an area and you're building your team in that area and then it just rolls. Because once an agent gets paid on a property they've never been able to get paid before, what happens?
They want to come back to you.
You're literally like a crack dealer at that point. They just come back for that little baggie over and over and over again because they just want the fix. They're not selling properties right now. Agents are starving to death. The ones do you know how many agents are no longer real estate agents? Like everyone was a real estate agent at one point because all you have to do is list it. The buyer was immediately there because financing was cheap. You put cheap financing back on the table. You're now selling properties for whatever you want to sell it for. Now, I'm not going to gouge my buyer. I'm going to sell it for a little bit less, because it's a service that I'm offering and they just don't care because the financing is literally cutting their payments almost in half. And that matters. I'm helping the community in which we're building this process in. And there's not just one of these guys, there's a lot. And if you tell the agent exactly what to do and make their life easier, they don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to structure the deal. They don't get all the paperwork. They just get a commission. They don't show up to closing and say, hey, can I see all the paperwork? That doesn't happen. It's our paperwork. You keep that close to the vest. You paid money for that. And yes, there's an investment to learn how to do this. Is that fair? Is it fair?
Jump on the wagon.
Well, it's not a wagon.
Well,
It's a
I
train.
mean, the train.
And guys, there are nuances to this. And the way that I've designed this is to support you until you close your first transaction. With people that are doing the transactions themselves, including myself, you will get help until you close your first transaction. Period. It shouldn't take you more than 90 days to get your first deal under contract. And once it's under contract, it sells itself because the financing is so damn cheap. It's very difficult to put a property on the market with 5% financing, with less than 10% down, and have not a herd of people that want to take a look at it because no one's getting that. And I don't care if they qualify at the bank or not. There's a process to cherry pick those that have the best chances of not going into default. And just like asset-based lending, they miss 2 payments, you get it back automatically. You're basically an asset-based lender because this is all this is not where you have to foreclose. They're basically entitled with the property. And if they don't keep their promise, like in the contract, they basically forfeit their ability to keep it because they have one job, just like asset-based lending, which is what? One job. I'll give you a hint. Make the payment.
Payment.
And if you're beating the bank, lower interest rate, giving them every single chance with a lower down payment, is that fair? It's like a lease option, except better because you don't have maintenance cost. You don't have tax cost. You don't have management cost. You have nothing because they own it. And you're going to pick the best person that's fighting over this thing. Because when we sell it, we actually have one day, we open the property up. And by the way, does a real estate agent do this all the time to an open house? The open house is for 2 hours, and that's all. That's it. Very specific strategic things that happen in this open house. It's actually not an open house. We call it a party. Everyone loves a good party. People will fly across the country for a party. Open house, that's what everyone does. We do parties. All right. You do a party. How long is the party? 2 hours. And everyone at that party is a buyer because we're offering financing. They're already approved by us. Who wants it?
Wow.
Yeah.
What happens when you have a whole bunch of buyers in the same place at the same time that want to see this, that know that every single person at this party also wants their house?
Price goes up.
I don't want the price to go up. I want
They
the
all
best buyer.
did.
I
Yeah.
could offer a higher price, but that's not the kind of guy I am. I want to give people value. I want to give you guys value. I don't want to gouge people and profit from that mechanism. I just want to weed out who is actually going to be the best candidate that steps up to the plate. If they want to pay me 80 grand, I'll take it. But if someone wants to put 20% down, I don't want it if they have terrible credit and every single thing they've ever done, they're not paying on it. I don't want that. If they're not stable in some way, I don't want it either. I don't want to take someone's money and then have to kick them out later. That's not, I know some of you might want to do that, take as much as you can and kick them out. And, they'll never buy it. Fuck them. Not me. If you want to do that, if you do that in your first one, we're definitely not helping you on your second one. That's why we're only doing one together to see what your ethics are. Because we don't want to hurt a seller and we certainly don't want to hurt a buyer. We want to add value so we can make millions of dollars on properties that are less than $500,000. Now you do this with a $2 million property, it gets pretty exponential. It's not double the money. It's actually a lot more. A lot more. Let me explain. Do you still see my screen or no?
Can see it. Yep.
What do you see? Oh, you see the whole screen.
It's
Right? You
a
see
million.
everything? All right. So Newton, as an example, all right? Seller, days on market. And by the way, the bigger the property, the more the days on market. And the bigger the payment, the more pain there is. They lose their job, they're relocated, whatever that is. All right.
Yeah.
And let's say they have a 3% mortgage. All right. Plus taxes, insurance, everything else. So you're looking at an $8,400 payment. They want out. They want out now. They owe $2 million. It's worth $2 million. Let's say they refinanced it just before the rates went up and they extracted as much as possible. There's been adjustment correction in that market. They owe $2 million, 3%. They call Sarah, say, hey, Sarah, can you help me out? Sarah looks at, and they say, listen, I owe $2 million. How's Sarah going to get paid? Typically, how's Sarah going to get paid?
Upon the sale.
Yeah, when the
Well,
house
I don't have
sells.
any money because
Well, there's-
I'm bleeding not just $8,500 a month. I got taxes to pay, got the insurance to pay, and the taxes in Boston are cheap, right? Property taxes, they're nothing. Is that right?
Boston, yeah, taxes
All right.
are-
So you're looking probably what, 10, 11 grand a month easy on that payment.
Yeah.
And they've already moved, whatever. Think that happens? Hello?
Oh,
Oh, Marco.
I can't hear you. You think that
Oh,
happens in
Marco.
higher price properties.
Yes, yeah.
Now they owe what it's worth ish. All right. Or it's worth 2.3 or whatever, but they just want out. So now Sarah knows me. I said, Sarah, I'll give you 2.5%. No problem. Sarah, would you take it? Would you take 2.5% on this deal? That's 50 grand. Would you take 50
Sounds
grand
good.
just to bring it over to me because they called you?
Yeah.
uh-huh.
I
You
would.
explained it to them as the best that you could because you just sent them a video, which is branded by you. So
Yeah.
it looks like you're the hero. Thank you so much. They bring it to us. We sell this sucker for 2.2, approximately what it's worth. All right. With 10% down, which is just 200 grand, which leaves a mortgage of the same exact amount of mortgage that's there now, but they're not going to pay 7.5%. We're going to charge them 6.75. What's the difference?
Almost 5 grand.
Two,
From
two.
8 something.
So it was, guys, 85, just under 8,500. That's almost $5,000. It's basically $4 grand-ish, right? $4,000 a month. Hello?
Yeah.
Yep, that's
So,
you only need
so
one
how are you
deal.
gonna how are you gonna sell it, Marco, if the market value of it is 2 million? How are you gonna get 2
If the value was 2.1, could I sell for 2.2 at low interest rates? At lower than the bank. If someone wants a property, are they going to haggle over that? You see,
Yes, they will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
okay. So you're thinking if I just put it on the
so you know
market-
what they're going to have to pay if they go to a bank? If they have, again,
Yeah.
they don't have 20% down. They have the right profile. They make the cash in their business. They have Bruce credit. The bank is saying you need 15% down, buddy. And even if you do, you're paying 8.5%. Is that outrageous?
Yeah, the bank is charging a higher interest rate when you're
They're paying
offering a lower one.
$15,000 a month. $15,000 a month is what they have to pay with the bank. I'm charging them 13 or 12. Am I doing them a favor? So
Yeah,
Sarah,
you
is that
are.
easier to sell? Think about
Yes.
it. Is that a better product?
100%? Yeah.
And when you walk onto a car lot, what's the first question generally people ask? How much do you want to pay a month? They don't talk about price. They said, what do you want to pay a month?
Yeah.
With a lower interest rate, you're basically doing the same thing. You're getting
Yeah.
a better house for less money without having to go through a bank. When the bank says no, it's like buy here, pay here. Let's go. And you're the bank. This is how much the bank makes on that loan, guys. Where should that go? In the bank's pocket or your pocket?
My
Anyone's
pocket.
but anyone's but the banks. Yeah,
The banks make enough money
they
Mhm.
do.
or not. And again, if I get $200,000 down, is that enough to pay Sarah's 50? If I get $150,000 down, is that enough to pay Sarah's 50? How much do I walk away with? 100, but I got to pay another 50 to get somebody to do the party and to put things together. And they do all that work because I don't want to.
Right.
And some of you are going to be like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. That's a young man's game. You're too busy enjoying your time with your family, your kids, your spouse. That's where you should be putting your time. Traveling, going to Poland. Dzień dobry, jak się masz?
I see Christopher stroking his beard. He's
What does that
thinking.
mean, Christopher? Is like, Christopher, talk to me, Goose.
I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by everything you're presenting. It's a lot of information that you're giving.
I'm dumping a shit ton of information. Let's take it step by step. Ready, Chris? Can I call you Chris, or is it Mr. Christopher or Mr. Mazzara? Like, you tell me what you want me to call you. You know, my ex-wife called me asshole, so I go by anything. So I'll call you whatever you want.
Chris is fine.
All right. So if you have a mortgage, for example, all right, of let's say 300,000 from a seller, all right, not 3 million, and that interest rate is at 1.9%. All right, you have an $1,100 a month payment. All right, now there's $250,000 left. That $50,000 that's been chewed down. All right, if you take a look at how amortization schedules work, all right, you're not really, look how quick you're paying off your property here. And the first third of the mortgage here is almost nothing. You look, in 10 years, how much has been paid off? Almost nothing. So we're leaving the existing 1.9 rate in place by taking over the mortgage subject to the existing financing, which is line 203. I'll show you exactly how it's done. And there's different ways of doing it based on, is it a single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, different variations. Would you like to learn all of them? Chris?
Say yes,
All right.
Chris.
Yeah, I can't hear you anymore. You muted yourself
Yeah.
out. It's okay. All right. You can leave unless there's like, is your kid like going bananas? I don't care. I've got 4 kids of my own, except they're 30 now, and I'm actually a granddad now. Just had my first
Aw.
grandchild. She's going to be 1, and my other son decided to have a baby. So in September, I got another one.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just turned 50. Insane. All right. So again, I got married when I was 18, 4 kids at 24, you know, and I was young. All right. So, and I have more energy than my kids do, which is bizarre. So Chris, do you understand that the existing payment is only $1,100?
Yes.
So why pay that off? So if you knew how to put a mechanism together to keep that mortgage in place without having to qualify it or have it called due, and there's a federal law that prohibits that loan to become due, prohibits, all right? Do you think the wealthy play by the same rules as the working class person?
No.
Number one, no, right? If you lie on your tax, if you lie to the government, you go to prison. If the government lies to you, it's politics, right? It's never the same rules. Am I wrong?
Correct.
No, you're not.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
Right. I'm right about a lot of things, sadly. All right. So if you want to play by consumer rules, you will be stuck where you are stuck for the rest of your life, because that's not how the wealthy make money. And you don't have to be wealthy to act wealthy. Just start acting wealthy using their tools of the wealthy. You'll be wealthy because it's not fair. You don't need credit if you know the sources to get into and you know the formulas. You just put it in and you get the money. You just don't know where to go. And it took me a long time to figure this out. A long time. And I just didn't figure it out. I put a process around it so it's scalable. All right. If I die tomorrow, you can still do this because it's not dependent on me. It's a process. It's an engine. It's a system. You put it into a portal. It pushes it out. There's technology involved. All right. So it's done elegantly. I don't want you to call me every 5 minutes, say, Marco, how do I do this? I have a life to live and I want to take care of you. And the more automated it is, the better it is for you and your family. And you can do more deals instead of having to suffer on trying to figure this out. That's why I've been working on this for 6 months. And this is the first time. Duncan's the first person I'm sharing this with. You guys are the first. You have no competition. And by the way, speaking of competition, let's talk about that. Have you heard the one percenters? The one percenters are the ones that make it, right? Correct? Have you heard this? The one percenters, like 1% have most amount of wealth, blah, blah, blah. Yes?
Yeah.
Which leaves 99% that don't.
A failure. Yeah.
So what's your competition? If the 1% have made it, you have 100% of the 99%. What's the competition?
No competition.
There's no competition because the 99% don't do shit. They're lazy. You sit on your hands. You want to watch Netflix and chill. You
I
don't.
love this guy. He's blunt.
Am I wrong, Jermaine?
No, that's absolutely. It's like they call the old terms "born with gold spoon."
No one wants to do shit anymore. Identify as an otter. Okay. What are you going to do about it? I identify as an otter. Well, go do the deal. I don't care what you identify with. It doesn't matter. And you don't have to talk to a seller that's not accepting of that. You're talking to an agent that's doing the deal because they need to feed their family. And this is the most important point is some of you are going to be like, well, I'll do it and I'll save 50 grand. No, because you believe that you have to work in order to make money. Do wealthy people work at your job? Do they do your job? Or do they let you do your job so you make whatever you need to make to feed your family? So you're stuck where you're stuck because if you quit your job, you're screwed. You can't feed your family. So they got you in chains with the paycheck that you got, because paycheck, guys, is not wealth.
The wealthy delegate.
And you think I need money to delegate? No, you need people that are in need to delegate. And you got right now in this market cycle, you got agents that are starving to death that have the time, that aren't making the $15,000, $20,000 checks to do something different, because now they have the time and they see, now they're listening. When rates were at 2 or 3%, forget about it. Forget about it, because I'm too busy making money to learn something new, and I'll just get a new buyer. Don't need you. Do they need us now?
Yes, they do, because they're outstrung. They don't have no options.
And we want to give them an option to feed their family. And when you take care of them during this time, what happens when the market shifts again? Do you have now someone on your team for life? When times were tough, you gave them the opportunity, and loyalty is a big deal. So when they get a call, when they get a deal, when something happens to go on the market, and guys, you need one agent, or can you have an army of 20 or 30 of them? You can't handle that volume. You have to scale carefully, because there's a lot of these opportunities. You don't want to let people down, because there's some research that has to be done. This is not set it and forget it. You're not smoking a cigar while everyone's doing the work. That's bullshit. You have to make sure the checks and balances are there, put the deal together, go through the checklist to make sure everything's in place. Then you can put it to market.
So you hold on to your favorite ones.
I have a lot of. What do you hold on to them? You can.
Well, you work with your favorite.
Oh, if you want to keep one to own it for life, then you own the asset for sure. But I'm okay with owning a mortgage.
No, I meant real estate agent. You hold on to your favorite agents. Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes, always. Yeah. You hold on. I wish my kids were the same way. I gotta love them all the same. But you basically take the ones. And guys, the ones that produce are the ones that pay. They get paid. If they don't produce, what's your downside? What's the downside if they do shit diddly squat? They're smoking their cigars. I'm going to be rich doing this shit, and they do nothing. They do nothing. You get nothing. Nothing is, guys. You want to make more. You got to earn more, and put processes together that allow you to scale. It's not by working harder that you're going to be wealthy. It's by working
smarter.
And if you want help closing your first deal, and here's the deal, guys, your first deal will more than pay for what this investment is. Now, if this was 10 grand to learn how to do this, would it be worth it? It's not. So don't shit a brick. All right. It's not 10 grand, but if it was 10 grand, would it be reasonable?
Yes.
If we structured your first deal where you get paid back for the investment in this, you also get paid back the day that you do your first transaction, which is what that's why I want to help you with the first one, so you don't screw it up and make less than what this investment is. The rest is what? Is just gravy. It's not bad.
Rinse and repeat.
Listen, you can't live on $4 or $5 grand a month, but it's a good start, right?
Very.
It's a good start.
It's better than a lot of other things.
Listen, there's a lot of angles and there's a lot of ways to make a lot of money in this business. The question is which one sings to you, and which one do you feel that you can actually get behind and actually put time, your value, because we don't have a lot of time. We're in a distraction economy where you can do this, you can do that. So many things that you can do, right? There's just so many angles to make money, but at the end of the day, it's through service that we generate wealth. Any business that you frequent, if they serve you well, you have a good experience, you're going back. If you are in a position where you feel they're all about my money, how much money is this? Oh, I'm going to charge you more. I'm going to gouge you. You get the hell out of there. They go out of business. And what most real estate investors do when they first start is, I want to make more money. I want to do this. I want this. Me, mine, right? Like the seagulls, right? Mine. No one wants to deal with you. All right. And and many become an ask hole. You're an ask hole. You ask for one more thing that you don't need, one more thing. You just need to ask the right questions, not all the questions. And the less you say, the more you make, because the quiet ones are dangerous. When you start having diarrhea of the mouth and you say this and this and this to a seller, you're freaking the hell out of them. Stop it. Shut up. No offense, but shut up. Let the agent do what the agent does. Let them feed their family. Let them make more money than they've made in this economy than ever before. Let them go like this. Ooh, I love you so much. While you're literally being a bank and making millions of dollars. See how we're scraping by. We're not really, they look at the HUD and they see that you don't make any money. That's how do you even survive? We figured it out. Go find me another one. Boston Marco Rocks, all right, is where you get enrolled. It's less than $6,000, less than six. I think it's 57.77. You get everything I've discussed. How to have conversations with agents, you give them exactly the tools that they need. That's branded to you. You're the expert and you don't know how to, and here's the cool part is you don't need to know anything other than just what you need to know. All the answers are in the video. They say, hey, I have a question about this. Did you watch the video? Go watch the video. That's what you're being paid for, is to watch the damn video. All right. Watch the video. All the answers are there. You have a question, you have support if necessary. You're going to need support as we start working the paperwork. We're going to be talking, my team is going to be talking to you probably every few hours until it gets closed, right? And we're helping you in your first transaction so you can get your money back. Every time I invest in a class, I need my money back as soon as possible because that money is an investment in my future. And that money has to come back as quickly as possible so I can do something else with it. Money should cycle and flow. It shouldn't disappear to your bank account forever. We also have a first day unconditional money back guarantee. Don't love it first day. This isn't for you. You don't want to do this for whatever reason. Fine. Here's your money back. That's it. If you don't want to be here, I don't want you to be here. I want to work with people that are fun to work with, that can handle honest, just no bullshit. I'm not here to fluff your nuts. I'm not a baker. I'm going to tell you how it works and what doesn't work. What conversations, we have case study after case study. We even hop on a call and call your seller when you have a hot lead. I will actually hop on the call and you can hear how it's done. I only take 25 people at a time. This is fun for me. All right. Very fun. There's 25 people max in a class. That's it. That's all. 25. I don't want a lot of students. I want the right students that want to help other people and really make an impact in their community so you can give back more, because when you make more, you can give back more. And I didn't even give you the juice in this, in that you can actually do this entire transaction in your self-directed Roth IRA, and all this is tax-free for life. I'm going to drop the mic and leave right now. All right.
Wow.
When you're tying up the property, you use your custodian, your Roth IRA, to tie up the property, and that mortgage is paid to your self-directed Roth IRA tax-free for life. And if you need more money now, then guess what? We do it in a spendthrift trust, in which case you can defer that. There's a lot of tax-free mechanisms, because if you actually spell the IRS, do you know what it stands for? The IRS, theirs. The IRS spells theirs. Right? So it's not the gross that matters, it's the net. So the net is very important, and using mechanisms, because there's two partners that you have that you will never, ever be able to get out of. They're like little kids humping your leg. Daddy, daddy, mommy, mommy. They're wrapped around your leg and they're just waiting for you. All right. The IRS, they want their piece. They're your partner, whether you like it or not. And Murphy, what can go wrong? And I operate knowing that those two partners are with me all the time. And I make sure that if something goes wrong, we can fix it. And I don't want to put this out in the universe because it's been a while, but I know as soon as I say it, your first deal is going to burn down to the ground before you close, because that's just how shit works. That's Murphy. Even if that happened, you'd still get paid, actually, because the insurance would pay for the property. We also get loss of revenue insurance. And guys, if you have this note, it's a sellable note as well. You can actually sell this mortgage if you need cash right away. Like this, you're creating a mortgage just like a bank. You're now in high finance. And maybe you're a mechanic, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you're a truck driver, maybe, you're unemployed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. Maybe you're a doctor. Who cares? What you've done in the past has no bearing on what you're going to do in your future. Because if you look at a GPS, no matter where you start, we can all get to New York. We can all get to wherever we want to be. Doesn't matter what you've done. It's what's going to happen that matters. Sarah, is this
Yeah,
making any
Yeah.
sense to you?
it is. Yes.
This is exciting a little bit. Now, we don't have
Very.
time to get to commercial property, but we go to commercial processes as well. Now, that's big news because a lot of commercial property is coming due. Trillions of dollars is coming due. But what most people don't know is the bank actually, if there's if they know who the buyer is and the experience they have, they'll actually extend low mortgage rates for another 5 years so they don't go bust. Because if they take it back, that's a liability. If they leave it on the street and perform, it's better. Much better. But most buyers, most sellers have tried to call the bank. You're talking to the person, the receptionist, on how to do high level stuff. You got to talk to the back office. If you don't know who to talk to, you're not ever going to get the right result. And the bank is not going to tell you who to call because these are back channels. Again, been doing this a long time, and I have very sophisticated processes, and I've worked very hard to get the right connections with the right people in order to get the right result. And once you're in the tribe, you have access to those things for life. Not taken away from you. You want to do 10 deals, go ahead. We're helping you with one. Once you do one, you can do 2, 10, whatever, however many you want. But once you build that muscle, low reps, right? Low weights, then you want to go bananas. You want to go beast mode. Let's get roided out and do big stuff. No problem. At least you did one. Do whatever you want after that. Make sense? Boston Marco Rocks. All right. BostonMarcoRocks.com. The first 2 human beings, because we have a small group, so I'm going to give you 2. All right. The first 2, I don't want to work with any more than 2. I'm actually going to I'm going to give you a marketing campaign like I'm going to give it to you. I'm doing a class now tomorrow. I don't want to make promises I can't keep. By Sunday, I'm going to give you a marketing campaign so you don't even have to use an agent to find them. I'm going to give you a list of people that are cherry picked. All right. You just send them an email. Can you send out an email? And I'm going to walk you through, and the class, we have the first class on this. The first one I've done of this nature is next week, and we have one in September. If you can't make next week, come in September. But for the 2 people, I'm going to step up, and you're going to get not my support team, which are students that have closed over $5 million in deals. This is not like people in the Philippines that don't know anything about real estate that are following a script, say, yes, you have to do this now. And when you do this, you do that. It makes no sense. No offense to anyone that outsources to the Philippines, but I want someone that actually has closed a deal that knows what the hell they're talking about and understands the nuances of doing that. All right. And this is not, this is very specific help and support on this process. All right. And everyone that I have in my team is someone that has done multiple deals, not someone that thinks they know how to do a deal or theoretically has done a deal. They have the experience and they had to screw up in order to do it right. You got to screw things up. You got to shake things up and make mistakes. I'm going to make you make mistakes too, because the only way to learn something is to experience a mistake. And the 3-day experience that I make you go through, it's on Zoom. I make you do something. I make you screw it up. So you go, holy shit, nothing happened. I can do that again. And nothing's going to happen. It's the only business where you can be completely incompetent and make millions of dollars a year. If you're a doctor, you're completely incompetent, you're going to prison, someone dies. If you're building a bridge, you're totally incompetent, the thing goes to the floor, people die. In your business right now, if you're incompetent, you get fired. You can't fire yourself. And you're not hurting anybody, because the worst thing that can happen if you do it wrong is the seller tells you to go fuck off.
Yep.
That hurt your feelings. I can tell that that's really going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to jump in, Marco, because I've been on quite a few of your seller calls, and you're very consistent with those. It's like almost every week, seller calls that you do, and I mean, they're live, and I've heard you go on all over the place with them, and good stuff like, wow, where did he pull that from? So Marco actually does, seller calls, many examples in there. And matter of fact, I was just speaking to Linda, who did another deal, and she said she didn't do it 100% correct, but she still made money. So that was just last week. I think she said it was.
You don't have to be great. You just have to be good enough. And most people are terrified of making a mistake because in school, you're terrified. If I make a mistake, I'm going to fail. In school, you go pee when they tell you to pee. You show up when they tell you to show up. When they ring the bell, you can get up. Sounds like job conditioning to be, right? That's JLOB conditioning. That's what it is, JLOB. Then you go to university to learn to get a job or college to get a job so you can work for someone else. You want to be an A student that ends up working for a B and C student. B and C students are ones that employ the A students. In order to get a retirement, which, by the way, you know what retirement means? To be put out of useful use. If you have a phone and that's a retired model, where does it go? Is that what you're looking forward to?
Shoved in a drawer.
I know Social Security is going to take really good care of you. That's exactly what's going to happen, right? A lot of people have their head in the sand, their ass up in the air, waiting to get screwed over. And if you don't do something about your future, who the hell will? And this is a process that allows you to take care of you, your family, sellers. Nobody's a loser. And we're leaving mortgages in place legally. And it's on a freaking HUD, line item 203. Google it yourself. It's not a made up HUD. Agents don't know how to do it. They haven't learned how to do it because I don't know. It's not traditional, but it's there for a reason because the government recognized it. They passed a law that forbids and I don't care what it says on a mortgage document. As soon as a bank says this, you show them the document, they shut the hell up. There's nothing they can do. Nothing. Zero, nada, zip. All right. So two people will get my assistance, and I'm going to make it my mission for you to show the others that didn't take action that they should have. Because once I'm full, I'm full. And I'm not going to teach this to everybody. And I don't need to work. I got over 6,000 units at an average profit of $200 a door. I'm doing 7 figures a month. I don't need to do anything. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying what I do is not for money. I do things because I enjoy it. And the second I don't enjoy doing something, or I'm with someone that I don't enjoy their company with, you want your money back? See you later. You're being a pain in the ass in class? See you later. I don't need your money. And I want you to have that same life because it's 99% of people do nothing. So just do something. Lots of agents are starving to death. Give them the opportunity. Mortgage brokers aren't making money when they're not qualifying someone. Tell them exactly what to do and how to do it so they can find the right people to send them to your party that another agent steps up to. They do all the work. They just do the checklist. They get paid 50 grand here, 50 grand there. I'll make 200. Thank you very much. I'll just sit back and watch other people do the work. Guys, you like hockey? You think the owner of a hockey team is sitting on the ice doing all the work? What's the owner of the hockey team doing? Watching the game. Start watching games, guys. Stop doing all the work. Or keep doing what you're doing and keep getting what you got. It's up to you.
Yeah. Well, I think tonight everyone has heard you live. You presented the opportunity. Thank you. It is being recorded, so it will be going out to tomorrow to those. A lot of people signed up who did not attend live, so they'll be hearing it tomorrow. So,
yep, those that registered tonight.
What you do with it?
You do it tonight. Yep, you do it tonight. Don't love it first day. See you later. No problem. Zero risk to you. Zero. At least I'll give you the marketing campaign. I'll work with you. And if you get a deal right, as you're closing a deal, you say, Mark, I don't want this anymore. No problem. But I'm keeping your deal. No problem.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
Marco, thanks very much, mate. I appreciate you. Good to hear you again.
Appreciate you, man. Nice to see you. We're all,
Yeah,
more snow on them. Every time we see each other, there's more snow and less hair. I don't want, and there's hair growing out of awkward places, and I have no idea why. It's super weird getting older.
Yeah, I found myself plucking a 5-inch eyebrow this morning myself.
Now you're just bragging. Now you're just bragging. Whenever a man says plucking a 5-inch, I never want to listen to him again. It's all good. I'm just messing with you, buddy. I'm just
eyebrow.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for attending this session of Boston REIA.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Memberships available to you, our Life and Air program. And like I said, if you have the opportunity and can do the opportunity to work with Marco, please do. Like I said, I've known him a very long time. I know he's doing a lot of stuff. So he's the real deal, walks the walk. I really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you guys very much.
Everybody, please remember to copy and paste the chat.
Yes, copy
before
and
we
paste
close
the chat.
down. That way you have all that information, including those important links.
Yep. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Have a good evening. When we'll be ending in 10 seconds. Counting down.
That Marco.